All right. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday to you all. And it got kind of warm today, didn't it? Yeah. Excuse me. So, hello if you are watching live, and hello if you are watching the recording. Now, you may be thinking, all right, what's the deal, Chris? Why are you wearing sunglasses indoors? Because it's part of a story I'm going to tell a little bit later on. So, if you're gathering with us live, please leave a comment so that I know who you are and so that I can say hi back. Because this is about us, and there'd be no us if I was by myself. So, you make this us, and I thank you. Had a good day. Um, Stayed indoors most of the day. People were starting to comment on Facebook that it was over 100 degrees outside, like by a lot. 108. Saw one that was 111, but it felt cool in here. So I went over to my wall thermometer and took a picture. So let me see if I can share that with you. Here we go. Picture of my wall thermometer. There it is. Oh, it's dark, but I hope you can see it. It's just a little over 80 degrees in here. And it's dark because I don't have any lights on, which that may be why it's feeling cooler. But what's really nice about where I live is that it's downstairs, right? So I'm not getting any of the heat that rises up. There's a big building right next to me which blocks the sun. And I'm on the east side of the building, so I don't get any afternoon sun. So basically, the sun never hits my apartment, which is really nice. And so it stays relatively cool in here. So when it's 100 degrees outside, 80 degrees feels great. But after the sun goes down and the temperature starts dropping, it stays at 80 degrees in here and it begins to feel warm. So I think our experience of temperature is really relative. Has a lot to do with the actual temperature, but I think there's a big differential between our body temperature and the external temperature as to how we experience heat. Anyway, so, after the sun goes down, I will be turning on the AC. Yeah. So, okie dokie. So, what's with the sunglasses, Chris? Okay. Well, for that, we have to go here. Now, okay, so here's the dealio. I'm a part of a men's group that meets every other Mondays. Okay. And I'm the youngest one. So it's a bunch of old guys. One of the guy that really put it together, I've known him for like 40 years, good friend. And anyway, this last Monday, we were going to have a meeting at his house. And I had figured out how to take the bus and get myself there. I'm fairly independent. I mean, I always get offered rides, but I'm always like, nope, I'll do it. I'll take care of it. The first time we met down by Fairy Tale Town in the park there, and I rode my bike, which was great. I mean, it was a long ride, but it was fun. On the way back, I must have picked up a nail or something because by the time I got home, the tire was flat. So I haven't been riding my bike for a while. I'm too lazy to walk it down to the bike shop, which is only a couple of blocks away. So I took a look at public transit and how I was going to get down there. And there was a nice bus not far away. And so I went to the bus stop and it's got a little shelter, right? And I was waiting for the bus to arrive. And I was wearing my sunglasses. Well, in the shade, it's hard for me to get information off my phone because they're polarized and it's just too dark. So I took my sunglasses off like so. And I put them on my shirt like so. See, my microphone's in the way. So let me move this a little bit. Sunglasses hanging right there, right? Here comes the bus, and I waved at the bus, trying to let the driver know that, yeah, pick me up, right? So I wave at the bus, and I look down at my phone, and when I look up, zoom, the bus goes right past me. I can only think that the bus driver thought I was waving the bus off, right? You don't need to stop, right? Missed my bus. Okay, now what am I going to do? So I had another plan, and I needed to go to another stop. So I start walking. I go about a block and a half, and I realize, oh, I'm not wearing my sunglasses. So I checked where I thought I had them, and I couldn't find them. And I checked my face to make sure they weren't there. And of course, they weren't. Checked my pockets, checked I couldn't find them, not on my hat. And I don't like doing that because if I forget, where they are. Couldn't find them anywhere. So I backtracked back to the bus stop where I'd last worn them, thinking that maybe, I don't know, maybe somehow I knocked them off my shirt and they fell or something. Couldn't find them. Not there. Gone. I'm like, okay, well, that's bad. I mean, I've had these sunglasses for a long time. They're, I like them. They do a good job. But, things get lost and nothing's permanent. So, and I thought maybe someone found them and they needed them. It's a very bright, sunny day. So I got on eventually I got on the bus, and I was going to be about 15 minutes late, and took about half an hour to get there. Gets there, and I sit down. I go, "Hey guys, I got a funny story to tell you." And I'm telling them the story of my sunglasses, and I gestured like this, and there they were. So I do stuff like that, but sometimes I like to think, maybe it actually dematerialized for a while and then rematerialized. I don't know. Hey, Ruben. Good evening. Glad to have you with us tonight. Anyone else that's out there that would like to say hello so I can say hello back and wish you a good evening and say thank you for tuning in. I always enjoy doing that. As I was saying earlier, that it's about us, and without you, there's no us. It's just me. And I like us. So please say hello. So anyway, so I got them. It's weird though, right? It's a strange story. I swear to God that they were not there. Yeah, they probably were. And I missed them. I don't know. It was just weird, right? Hey, Brad, good to see you. Been thinking about you a bunch lately, and I think it's about time for a visit. Anyway, let's chat, okay? Get out of Sacramento for a little bit. Anyway, welcome aboard. So that's my little update. Just a very strange story. And I like seeing my eyes, and I like other people seeing my eyes. Oh, here's another friend of mine. Patty Uplinger. Hello, dear. Oh, it's been too long. I always enjoy seeing your pictures and reading a little bit about your exploits on Facebook. And I'm just so happy that you've joined us for tonight. And I hope this isn't the last time, right? Hope not. And guess what? I'd love to have you on the show. That'd be awesome. Yes. Hello. So anyway, I'm not going to wear them for the show. I mean, in a way, they're kind of cool, but I think it's important for y'all to see my eyes. I think that's important. Yes, we need to connect. Now, Patty and I, back when I was working, one of our connections is through disability advocacy, and predominantly around being able to locate affordable and physically accessible housing for people with disabilities. It's very, very hard. And perhaps that'll be a theme to talk about at some point. We hear a lot about affordable housing, and we need affordable housing, but if it's also not physically accessible for people who need that access, it doesn't matter how much it costs. They can't live in it. So those two things go to, I call it the double A of housing, affordable and accessible. Anyway, yes, Patty, we need to connect, and we shall. We shall. Oh, that's great to have you here tonight. So one of the things I do is I help to distribute bagged lunches. When it started, it was a lunchtime program. Now it's a morning program. So it's like bagged breakfasts. You just can't call it bagged breakfasts. That's just weird. Bagged lunches in the mornings. And I wore my sunglasses today because it is getting bright and there's some reflection and everything. But as long as a person is approaching, I take them off because I want them to see my eyes. I think that's important. You know, the eyes are the window of the soul and all that. So, and I know sometimes people think people that wear sunglasses all the time indoors, whatever, are they trying to hide something? And I don't want people to think that, so I don't wear them. I also got something today in the mail. Very exciting. Guess who's on Medicare for the first time? So in February, turned 65, got on Medicare, and I get love letters from my insurance company. Let's see what they've got for me today. I'm not prone to go to doctors, but they keep wanting me to. What's the dealio? You know, I need to get down to get my eyeglass prescription filled. Until then, I've got my standbys. I'm trying not to poke my eyes out. That's really important too, right? Oh gosh, what do we got here? So, reward myself by taking care of my health. All right. I don't think I'm going to be able to get any money for breast cancer screening. Although, you know, guys can get breast cancer. Hope you know that. It's important. You never know, right? Colonoscopy. Oh, those are fun. It's like they're going to pay me, right? I've had one colonoscopy. You know what? You go through all that and I don't even get the video to take home. You know, and I didn't even get to watch. It's like they had me facing away from the camera, from the, the screen. Oh, man. Oh, well, what are you going to do? See what else? Stool test. Would that be like a three-legged stool? Or a bench, small bench? I'm not sure what they're talking about there. Annual wellness exam. So they're going to tell me if I'm well or not. I can tell them I'm absolutely well. I don't know. I guess they're trying to bribe me by paying me to go in. I might. It all depends. And what's the letter say? It says, understanding diabetes. Oh, that is so important. That is so important. Yeah, that's one of the things I think they were checking with the eye exam, checking for diabetes. Don't have a history of diabetes in the family. Mom was hypoglycemic. So we did take, we always watched our diet, but I've never had a strange connection with sugar. Prevent wearing Depends. Well, that depends. You know, can have adding that little cushioning could be, a more comfortable sitting experience. Who knows? If you're an astronaut, that's what they don't have like a lavatory in space, so they collect all that fun stuff. Good times. And if you are an obsessive video game player, you might want to wear a pair. That way you don't have to take time out to take care of your bodily needs. So anyway, so that's some exciting stuff that's going on in my world. I'm working on that video. It's going to be a little over an hour. It's a lot of fun. But one of the things I've discovered is that, and I've got the bulk of it, like 95% of it complete. Every time I make a change, it changes something else. So then I got to go back and then for some of the, it's all set up in various clips, right? Sometimes I actually got to go back and delete that clip and do it over from scratch, recreate it. So we'll see how it goes. I've got one more segment that's on its way. I should get it sometime tonight or tomorrow, and then I can work on completing it. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope I have the okay, the go ahead to share it. And it's over an hour. So if I share it online, maybe the whole thing, but I might just do it piecemeal and we can just talk about it. It's about organs. There are 3 organs in this area. And it's interesting, not for everyone, but it was very fun to do. So I'd love to share it with everyone. So the question now is, how are y'all doing? Yes, or what day? Today's the 17th. No. So Tuesday was the 15th, which was the grand opening for California, which I think is kind of ridiculous. I mean, the state's not opening. I guess that's how you want to say. I mean, to really explain it, it's just kind of crazy. But it is time for us to start experimenting with our comfort level around being out in public, being in groups, being indoors, with or without a mask. There's a new variant running around, and it's called, I keep thinking it's the word deviant, and it's not the word deviant. I forget what it's called. It's a new one. It's highly transmissible, and it can make you sicker. But the vaccines that we've already had do just a wonderful job to mitigate a lot of those symptoms and actually the disease itself. So the Pfizer and the Moderna and the J&J, they all do a really great job with this new variant that's come out. But if you're unvaccinated, it can make you sicker than the original virus. So if you haven't gotten around to it, now would be a great time, right? Now would be a great time. I figured, I don't know, a year and a half ago, I don't know why I thought it was important, but I got a flu shot, a tetanus shot, pneumonia shot, and some other kind of shot, rabies maybe. I don't know what it was. All on the same day, 2 in one arm and 2 in the other arm. And I survived. It wasn't fun, but I did it. I was like, let's get it out of the way. So I knew that when this vaccine came around, it was going to be just easy peasy. And it was. I was the Pfizer, and I think my shoulder got red once, a little bit. No pain, no swelling. I feel myself very fortunate that I didn't have some of the effects that a lot of people do. So that was good. So anyway, our comfort levels. So I'm curious. When things started transitioning, I remember a couple of times I actually walked out of the apartment without my mask, and I only got like half a block, and I felt like I walked out without my pants on. So I went back and put the mask on, and I felt more comfortable. So there's definitely a comfort level. Shingles. Thank you, Patty. Yep, that was shingles. 4 vaccines. So it was shingles. Yep. Thank you for that. There is something about the comfort level. I mean, we've gone year and 4 months or something with masking, distancing, sanitizing, and it became a routine for many people. And now we're changing that routine again. So what was uncomfortable in the beginning is uncomfortable in reverse. And I'm wondering how that's going. I know that in some settings, I'm comfortable without a mask. Especially if I'm outdoors and just walking, I can go without a mask and I feel fine. If I'm going into a building, it depends on, is it crowded or not? So if let's say I'm going to go to the store, or let's say I'm going to get some breakfast or get a cup of coffee or what have you, right? I try to go at a time when people are working, right? So if it's lunch, I wait until, 1:30 or so. That way most of the crowd has come and gone. And if it's a coffee shop, there's a lot of little ones in my neighborhood, and there's not a lot of people that go to them at this point. So it's still very uncrowded, and there's outdoor seating. So if I feel like the indoors is getting a little bit crowded, then I can move out. So I'm finding the transition easy. It's manageable. It's definitely manageable. But I do carry my mask in my shirt pocket so that I can pull it out. There are some businesses that are still asking for their patrons to be masked before they enter. If I go somewhere and it's not required, but the majority of people are wearing a mask, then I'll put mine on just so that people will feel more comfortable. So I'd love to hear from y'all. You can leave a comment. I'm also going to start setting up the call-in, right? And I think that I'll share a little bit about how that works. So let me go to my call-in screen. Let's just see here. So the first thing, let me pull this up. This is called Loopback. This is an online piece of software that creates a virtual microphone. And so you can see that I have Scarlett 2i2 USB. That's my audio interface where I plug in my microphone. And above that, you see Safari. Now, Safari is where I have Google Voice, which is what I'm going to be using for the phone calls. And you want to use a separate browser. So StreamYard, which is what I'm using for live streaming, is best used on Google Chrome or Firefox. Safari doesn't support it with Mac OS. So you want to have your Google Voice on a different browser. So that's why I've got StreamYard on Google Chrome, and I'm going to have Google Voice on Safari. And then they go into channels 1 and 2, and then they go into a monitor so that I can hear Google Voice on my phone. I have it turned off now because it creates a little bit of an echo, which is irritating. But I'm going to turn it on like so, and so that I can hear. So Google Chrome is open. So let me see if I can bring up Google Chrome real quick and show you what it looks like. Google Chrome. There you are, right? No, that's not you. No, I'm looking for, what am I looking for? Oh, that's right. I'm looking for Safari. So I don't see it there. So let me just do a little looky-loo here. There it is. Okay. So why isn't it showing up? That is the question of the hour. So let's see what I can do here. Try it again. Window. Oh, there it is. Yeah. All right. So there's Google Voice and the number pad, right? And so when someone calls, I can hear that call and I can answer it right here. So let me put up the number so that you know what the number is to call in if you so choose. There's the call-in number. It is now live. It is area code 916-545-5376. And feel free to give me a call. And your voice will go on live. Now, last week we gave it a go, and my buddy Uli called in, and I could hear him just fine. I thought it was working. I downloaded the recording and I watched it And unfortunately, I was the only one that could hear Uli because I'd set it up incorrectly. And I hope I have not made that same. Oh, so what I did was I was using a different microphone for my audio input into StreamYard. I have to select my virtual mic, which I've done. So we're good to go. So if I hear the phone ring, then I'll just pop on over to Google or to Safari and answer that call. So feel free to call in. I'd love to hear how you're doing. I'd love to hear how you are adapting to our opening, quote unquote, what you're looking forward to. I mean, we're getting close to, let's see, Father's Day is coming up. Are you doing anything for Father's Day? July 4th isn't far away. I don't know what, if anything, is being scheduled for people to go out and be in groups. You never know. So anyhow, I personally am not a 4th of July celebrant. Not a fan at all. A couple of reasons. I mean, I remember when my kids were really little, we went to Cal Expo and the fireworks went off and it just terrorized them. They cried. It's like, this is not fun. So we're not doing that again, at least not till they were older. And then we never did it again. Dogs tend to freak out with fireworks. But I think the main thing is for me, I see fireworks as a celebration of war, even though it's to celebrate our independence. It was a war that was fought, and not with bombs going off. That wasn't until much later, bombs bursting in air and all that good stuff. And then we've got, World War I and II, and we see bombs going off all the time, whether it's in Iraq during that conflict when we invaded, or whether it's happening in the Middle East between Israel and Palestine. And so I kind of see it as a glorification of war. And it's the lights and colors are pretty. It's just not something that I participate in actively. So, but I am looking forward to Father's Day. I've got a couple of kids. I'm hoping to see at least one of them. And so that'll be fun. That'll be fun. They're fully vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated. So I am not at all concerned. It'll be a great time for us to sit down and visit like we've never done in the last year and a half. So what's going on out there, anybody? If you're watching the recording and you want to leave me a message, please do so in the comments, and I will review the comments and try to respond. Right now, the show is streaming to my Facebook profile page, and we'll have a YouTube page and a Twitter account. So I've been remiss in sharing those links because I think at some point I may stop sharing it to Facebook. I'm not sure. And convert it over to a predominantly YouTube or a Twitch experience. I haven't decided yet, but I'm kind of leaning one way or the other. Yeah. So it's kind of nice having this hat on. I notice my eyes are in the shade, but I've got a couple of lights overhead. And after a while, it sort of bothers my eyes. So it's nice to have the shade. Appreciate that. Oh, guess what? I got a call coming in. Bear with me. Got to get to it quickly. Here we go.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voice.
Okay. Hello. Can you hear me?
What's happening?
Yes. Who am I speaking with?
Ruben.
Ruben. Hi. Can now, if you're watching, it would be really great if you could let us know that you can hear both of us. That'd be awesome. Thanks for calling, Ruben.
Okay. Yes, I can hear it.
Oh,
So, but I got to
perfect.
get out of the room because it's going to be delayed
Echoey.
too much.
Yeah.
No, well, it's going to be delayed on there. Hey, how's it going?
It's going
pretty
good. It's going good. I've been
Yeah.
indoors all day, staying out of the heat, and working on my video project and getting ready for tonight, and
Yeah.
doing well.
Well,
doing well.
everything's working good. So
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just getting ready for tomorrow night's show.
Yeah.
So
You know,
making an event flyer. Yes.
Sweet. So Ruben is, I would say, the main host, sometimes co-hosting a live stream show called Cali Cocktail Hour, which has its genesis at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And, it'll be interesting, Ruben, to see how the show evolves as we become more social outwardly, right? As people they don't have to stay home, and it's going to be Friday night. So it'll be really, I think it'll be really interesting to see how that goes. I know that it's meant a lot to me, and my plan is to drop in. It's just going to be interesting, I think, to see how we transition through this time period.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
So how are you personally feeling about moving into the opening phase of our county and state?
A little bit schizophrenic, and what if that's a word, but because I walk into a store, do I put on a mask? Do I not put on a mask? I see people, I feel guilty for not doing. I mean, I'm double vaccinated, so according to the CDC, I'm good to go. But sometimes, it is still strange, and then I feel guilty when I leave the store.
Yeah. Now, do you carry one with you? If you feel uncomfortable, you just put it on real quick. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really trying to wean myself away from it. I mean,
I hear you. No, I hear you.
Yeah. So I did everything I could for all the way through. So, and now I'm like, okay, well, everybody has the choice of getting a vaccine. So I can't be. I was compassionate, a lot more compassionate when no one, everybody, in the middle of it all.
Right.
And so now I'm like, well, I don't know what to do about. That's everybody's. Choice, I guess.
It's a choice, and it's a choice either way. So for those people who that feel more comfortable with wearing the masks, they should not be.
Yes.
Right. They should have the freedom to choose one way or the other, and have no problem either way.
Yeah, and I think that we should be compassionate toward that way.
Absolutely,
because,
absolutely.
Because it's like, and it's funny. The weird part about that thing too is like, if I wear a mask, I'm like, oh, do people think I'm unvaccinated? Too.
But that's none of anybody's business, right?
Yeah, but you have all these. That's what I'm saying about like all these thoughts that you're trying to.
That's true.
Go with, because I do have a lot. Like, okay, I'm gonna walk in there. Yesterday was the first time I walked in without a mask, and even though I saw the sign that says, if you have a vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask. I was like, it was almost like, okay, here we go. So, I mean, I did go to a reggae show on Saturday.
Oh, where was it?
It was I heard downtown at the Holy Diver, but it was. I lasted for about 20 minutes because I was like, no one was wearing a mask, and it was hot, and it was like. But the really wonderful part about it, I guess, is hearing the music and the crowd.
Sure. Yeah.
The sound, the sound of like, oh, okay, I remember this.
And 20 minutes is fine, if you, we are introverts, and 20 minutes can be plenty, right?
Yeah.
And it's time to go.
Yeah.
You've also now, when is the art show in West Sac? Is that this Saturday?
Which one?
I don't know. I saw something about it.
Oh, I think they're having one tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I interview. I don't know if you know Brian Valenzuela.
Okay.
He's a good friend. He's a good artist. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow night. Yeah. I think the show you're talking about is in July.
Oh, July. Okay.
And that's Lynn's show. I think Lynn's not doing that show again too.
Cool. That was fun. So, a couple of months ago, I guess.
Yeah. So
yeah.
we'll do that again.
There was an event, and you had many of the artists on Cali Cocktail Hour. We got to meet them
Yeah.
virtually, and then we got to meet them live.
Yeah.
But we had to wear masks. Well, we didn't have to, but we
Yeah.
did, right? And so this
Yeah.
time we might be able to see each other maskless, sans
Yeah.
mask. Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So that'll be great. Well, I think your show's going good, and the call-in's good.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
I just know that I have to be for your future guests. I just have to be out of the room and not watching it.
Right.
Yeah, just like they would on the radio, if you're gonna call-in show on the radio.
I mean, most of the time, the people on the radio will say, "Turn your radio down."
Yes. Yeah. Or you can turn it down. That's what you can do.
You can turn it down. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ruben.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, have a good night, and
I'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao.
All right. Bye.
Okay. That was fun. See how easy that is? So don't be shy. Oh, there he goes. Doodle-doop. That was cute. Didn't expect that. That's nice. And you can see the reflection of StreamYard in my glasses. Yeah, I look down a little bit and you can't see it. There you go. Rawr. You know what I can do too? Let me just turn down the brightness a little bit, and it's almost gone. Sweet. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, live streaming is perfect for introverts. Anybody that does not like public speaking, live stream. Got no audience. I mean, there is an audience, but you're not in front of them, and if they don't like what they're saying, the worst they can do is not watch. They're not going to throw rotten tomatoes at me. So, it's a great thing. Fun. It's fun. So if you have a little bit of public nervousness, feel free to call in. And eventually, if you so desire, I'll have guests. Now, there's a friend of mine who was out of town. He's back. We've not yet connected, but I'd love to have him on the show, and he's expressed interest for that. So that will be forthcoming. So that was fun for me to speak with my friend Ruben. Known Ruben for some time. We didn't run in the same circles. We had some mutual friends. And then I reconnected with Ruben through the internet. Cali Cocktail Hour. That was on Friday nights. And it was at the time they called it Feelings Friday. We talked about how we were feeling about not being social, not seeing people. One of the things that I realized early on was the lack of touch, human touch. And it's very important for humans to have contact, physical contact. Somewhere years ago, decades ago, I heard that for a person to really feel comfortable in their skin and in the world, they needed 3 hugs a day, three hugs a day. And I haven't been getting any. And I remember not many weeks ago, after my friends in the men's group, we were all fully vaccinated. This friend of mine that I've known for 40 some odd years came up to me to hug me, and I pulled back automatically, reflexively. I thought that was interesting. I watched myself do it. I'm like, wow, I think I got a little PTSD, COVID PTSD. And I reacted, right? And even now, I've had a couple of hugs. It's not always comfortable. So that's something that I'm going to have to get used to all over again. But it's absolutely necessary. It makes, it feels good to be hugged. It feels real good. So I'm going to have to get back into that practice. Yep. So what else is new? Not much. You know, as being retired, not a lot going on. I've been thinking lately about getting back onto my podcast and taking it to another season 3. So I'll probably be doing that soon. Some things I'm waiting on. So maybe July. I might do like a little teaser trailer. I haven't told anybody that we're podcast listeners about this live stream show. So that's something I might do, just to let them know that that's a different way to experience the life of a wild and crazy guy. Not really, pretty boring. But anyway, got a comment. Got to go check that out. Love my comments. Hey, Victor, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? You handling this unmasking and opening up of the state, okay? Or how are you feeling about all that? Feel free to share. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. It's good to have you on, brother. I'm glad you're with us. And I thank everyone again that have spent some time with us this evening, whether participating live or participating via the recording. And I would, if you are participating by recording, I invite you to join us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. OG Voices. Victor, I don't know what that is. You're going to have to school me on that. So probably the best way to do that would be not on the show. Send me a private. Are we Facebook friends? Yeah, we are. So send me a private message on Facebook and let me know what OG Voices is. And because right now I've got to call in through Google Voice, but I can only take one person at a time. That's the way that goes. Yeah. So, and it's a number that I'm also using for another podcast. So it's got two. Oh, look, see the tape on my hand? I got tape on my hand. Isn't that fun? I must be nervous. Anyway, yeah. So, you mean no Holmes, that sort of thing? Those kind of OG. See, I don't know what OG means. So now I know. I thought OG was like a brand name. See how old I am? I am so old. I need to be schooled. Okay. So I might break my voice. One never knows. Yeah, I think I'll stick with my regular voice. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn off the call-in line because I'm tired of the what am I tired of? I'm tired of the echo. So, I'm looking around trying to do what I need to do. I'm going to put it on Do Not Disturb. Turn that on. Okay, thank you very much. And pull up my loop back and turn off my monitor. And now my ears thank me greatly. Okay. So, hey, look who's here. Hang on a second. Hey, Reggie. I've known Reggie for a minute and a half. Glad you could join us. Patty Uplinger was with us earlier. One of the things that I've been talking about tonight is how people are feeling about the opening of the state and the unmasking and all that entails. So if you feel like you want to share a little bit, I just turned off the phone line. If you wanted to call in, I could reopen it. Just have to let me know. Staying safe is number one, right? I'm fully vaccinated. I got the Pfizer vaccine, 2 doses, like a couple of months ago. So I'm way beyond the 2-week waiting period. So I'm good to go. I'm not foolish. I discovered, if you think about it, how many of us got the flu last year, came down with a common cold last year? My allergies weren't so bad. If I see a leaf blower, my mask goes on immediately. To me, the mask did more than just mitigate the transition of the virus, the COVID virus. I think it helped me stay healthy from the flu and from the common cold, and it has mitigated my hay fever, my allergy symptoms. That's what I think. Here's something else that I discovered. During the wintertime, my mask kept my face warm. Added bonus. So, I'm going to be carrying my mask around with me, and I'll be putting it on occasionally. And not being foolish. So one of the things, and we haven't talked about it, I'm going to bring it up. We're getting close to the end of the show, and that's trust. Because there are many people who chose not to get vaccinated during this time period. They're being asked to wear a mask if they're unvaccinated. But we're not going to know whether they do or not, right? So you see someone without a mask and you don't know whether they're vaccinated or not. Which, if you are, excuse me, fully vaccinated is not that big a deal. But if you're not vaccinated, or if you can't be vaccinated, there are some people that, for various reasons, cannot be vaccinated, and they rely on us to be vaccinated to help protect them. Then you don't really know, right? So, it seems a little odd growing up with lots of freedom here in the States, but I'm come to realize it's now a lifestyle. And, excuse me, I should have water with me, but I neglected to do so. Lesson, have water next time. Wearing the mask also gives me the freedom to go out when there's something going on, right? So it's a different way of looking at it. The mask provides freedom. You can almost call it a freedom mask. When it's not safe because of a health issue, health crisis, public health issue, wearing the mask allows me to have more freedom. So it's a freedom mask in many, many ways. Victor, I think you're right. We will be getting booster shots. One of the things that I think the medical establishment is coming to grips with is the fact that we may never reach what's called herd immunity. If we did, there's a chance that we could actually get this virus to die out, but it's probably going to stick around like the regular flu, the influenza virus. And so we'll be dealing with a variant of it every year, most likely. It's called an endemic, and it sticks around. But the good news is that with the vaccine, even if it was to get through the defenses, because it's not 100%, right? You still wouldn't get as sick as you would have had you not been vaccinated. So it's still a good thing. And the mask simply is another hoop that the virus would have to jump through to get to me. So, it's just not going away. And, I remember, years ago, I saw people downtown, maybe one or two they were always wearing a mask. Maybe they were especially immune to communicable diseases, and so they just wore a mask all the time. There are some countries where people wear masks. I think, if I remember correctly, many of the people in Japan, which experienced the SARS epidemic, that wearing a mask is just something. You go out, you put your hat, you put your mask on, right? Your coat, your mask, your shoes, your socks, your mask, your shirt, your mask, your pants, your mask. It's just part of the getup, right? And we can learn to personalize them and make them friendly or not, as the case may be. But it may simply be something that's here to stay. So we'll see. Time will tell. the big question is going to be the fall, as to how we've done over the summertime. And hopefully people were taking precautions and being smart, and we have a safe fall. One of the things that I was looking for was the 2-week period following Memorial Day, right? Because it's got about a 14-day incubation period, 10 to 14 days. And so if the behavior during Memorial Day, what people went to go to the beach and et cetera, if that caused a super spreader event, that would show up about 2 weeks afterwards. And we're way past that date. It doesn't seem to have shown up. So I think as a society, we're moving in the right direction. I keep my fingers crossed. And I think we need to keep talking about it so we don't drop our guard and get ourselves lulled into a false sense of some security. But we're doing okay as a people. I think we're doing okay. It's sad that we hit the 600,000 marker for people who have died in the United States from COVID-19. It is very, very sad. It probably could have been prevented, the majority of those people. So the whole focus now needs to be keeping that number as low as we can going forward. And I think we can. We just have to make an effort to do it, right? And if we know folks that haven't been vaccinated, have a conversation, find out why. I read a story about one person was afraid of needles. So I think eventually they're going to try to find a needle-free way to administer the vaccine, which would be awesome, because that takes that one barrier off the table, right? There's just various reasons why people don't get vaccinated, and we need to talk about it. Talk about it and see if maybe there is a way around it, if maybe we can alleviate that fear. Maybe not, and the fear is real. And it's all about, accepting each other where we're at and what we can handle and what we're comfortable with. We have had a hard year, a hard year. This virus has created problems between people in relationships, and for that, it's a very sad thing. So the kick is, or the trick is, that going forward, we need to talk about ways that we can put that all behind us. So, Victor, I'll just pop this up real quick. I'm sure a lot of them were unfamiliar with being in a virus crisis. They probably just thought keeping themselves clean would be enough. And I think a lot of people thought that way. And honestly, this is a 100-year virus, right? Nobody in our lifetime ever experienced anything like this. It was all new for all of us. And you're right. It was two ways to think about it. Number one was my own personal safety. And the other one was being a carrier and being unsafe for someone else, right? Who might be far more vulnerable to it than me. I may not care if I get it or not. I may not. That's another thing to talk about. Why wouldn't I care? But anyway, but for me, the main thing was I did not want to get somebody else sick, and that somebody else who got sick might have gotten really sick and even perished, especially in the early days when they didn't know how to treat it well. People were getting on the respirators and dying. This is just a bad scene. So hopefully we've got that behind us. At least here in California, there are some states that don't have a very high level of vaccination, and they are still having a pretty high level of cases. And those cases, of course, a percentage of those cases translate into hospital time, percentage of those translate into ICU, and they translate into deaths. So just keeping our finger on the pulse and watching what's going on, and realizing that viruses do not pay attention to borders, right? So if one state's having a problem with the virus, then those states around it are exposed, right? And so there's a chance that this thing could spread again. Unlikely, but it could happen. One never knows. So I'm glad to hear that people are well. And it's awful good to hear from so many of my friends tonight. And if you're watching the recording, I encourage you to come and join us Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So, and so for the East Coast, it's 10, right? And if it was me, it was 10 o'clock, chances are I'd be sawing logs. But anyway, who knows, right? It's been very fun. So one last little comment from Victor here. I try to pay attention to those. Getting in the, I'm sure that's groove with the virus is the way to live. Yep, absolutely. Yep, living in harmony with our environment, and viruses are part of our environment. Living in harmony with it is very important. Learning how to do that, right? So absolutely. All right, Ruben, have a good night yourself. Thank you very much. I will see you tomorrow night, Cali Cocktail Hour. And thank everyone else for spending some time with us this evening. And let's go ahead and end the evening with a little bit of our exit music.